Hello, everybody, and welcome to our podcast show at Computex 2024. And here we have special guest here, Justin, and he's from a large company that makes a lot of cases for everybody. Yes, last year we had Nelly, and this year we're going to have Justin.
Hello.
So, Justin, tell us when did you start with InWin? And tell us a little bit more about yourself, because you're one of those new creator design youngsters that went into InWin. And tell us a little bit more.
I wouldn't say I'm on the creative side, but I am really new to InWin. I joined around August last year.
Okay.
I'm a project manager with the US side. So I'm not with the Taiwan headquarters, but I have been going back and forth for like training material, like not just, since it was not just about the cases now. It's about the whole ecosystem for hardware. We're an OEM, ODM company. So whatever you want, we can make for you.
Because that's what Lenny said, right? She was like, making a lot of cases for OEM, ODM, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But she's nurturing a lot of the youngsters in terms of being creative and things like that. Mm-hmm. Have you learned anything while you're in InWin for the last year?
Oh, yeah, of course. I would hope so. Like, after being here for actually almost a year now.
Do they do things differently? Like,
things differently.
You worked with another company before, right?
Yes, I've worked.
Before you moved into InWin.
Before InWin, I was at Zotac for a short while. Okay. Mm. So I was with their actually gaming PC Mech Hero is what the name of the division
you're a gamer.
Yeah.
Ah. Yeah. Okay, so from gaming and Zotac and things like that, and moving into InWin, is it completely different? Something that is a similar, or how has it changed for you?
Well, since Mech Hero was more about the whole system as a whole. Mm-hmm. So I was like looking at the graphics card, CPU, stuff like that. But at InWin, it's all basics, right? Just the shell,
the case, the chassis and things like that.
But beyond that, since we're moving also into the server market, I actually found out it's not simply just the case. We actually designed the backplane for the servers, which is like what allows the server to read so many drives and stuff. So, and also like the extra cooling, because components. We've also done cooling. We actually are releasing like an AIO version for servers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, because a lot of servers don't use AIOs, right?
Yeah, it's all like the fan cooling just to push all the air through.
Yeah, I remember turning on a server, those rack-mounted servers. You press the button, the fans just like turbojets, like really loud.
Pure jet engine.
But now they're making silent AIO coolers, and
it'll be quieter, but still, since the heat's gonna be running up crazy high, like pretty much right away, especially if you're doing like AI stuff like everyone's doing now, right?
Okay. So is this a system that you created in-house? Because I know that other manufacturers, like for example, Calgary's own Coolit Systems, is already in the server market. It's kind of one of their bread and butter offerings. Yeah. They used to do consumer AIO before they were sued like everyone else, sued by Asus.
Yeah.
But they still held on to all the patents that they utilized to cool servers. So does InWin feel there's any conflict in this case? Because we just want to kind of get ahead of that, just seeing if maybe there's enough of a difference in your product that makes coexisting not a bad thing.
Yeah. I'm not too familiar with the cooling department itself, because we actually do a lot of stuff in-house, including like power, like I said, cooling, cases, that sort of stuff. But what I believe they've done is different enough from Asus that will be okay.
Yeah, because Asus loves to sue people.
Yeah.
Do they own the patents for the water cooling?
It's the way it's done.
Okay, so with Asus, with the patent, how long does it last? Because I mean,
who knows?
Because I remember Asus making water coolers like 20 years ago. Is they still holding that patent?
Well, they continue to exercise the patent.
Sort of like how Disney does it, right? With Mickey. They keep extending it, so
at some point the patent will go away, but I mean there's also copyright. Right, which is a different ball of wax, right?
Okay, so with cases, servers, units, servers now, AI, you need big, powerful servers to run AI, and is that where InWin is looking to kind of like take advantage of that?
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't need to be big. Like some of our cases over at the booth itself is actually small. We have one of them uses a AMD Ryzen 7, I think 7500 or 7600, as is a APU. So we're running a Stable Diffusion on it. So which is the program that if you type in your prompts, it creates art for you.
Oh,
So it doesn't even need a big case. It's about yay high. I don't know if your viewers will be able to see this, but
yeah. So it's just like a little tower, similar to this kind of lens, but
yes.
vertical. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry for audio
Hand for
listeners.
scale. Yeah.
Okay, so AI is again a big thing. I've seen some cases now. I've seen having 4 graphics cards in there, so you need sufficient cooling and all that kind of stuff. And I've seen this year they have this new demo, because every year they come up with some new cases and some really interesting, really concept cases. What's this one called? Infinity, right?
It actually. We had a case called Infinity a while back. So this one, to differentiate it, we're calling the Infinite.
Infinite. Not Infinity, Infinite.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's more
Tell us more about that.
Yes. So we chose Infinite as more of a the describe factor. Like this is our this is our big pushback for coming back into the signature case market.
Signature, that's it. They call it signature case.
Signature case, yeah, that's what we're known for. And so this is our big push. So we want to say, look, here's what we're doing now. Even though on the retail market it's a little bit lacking, but OEM, ODM, this is what everything we're here for you. We're like, as we put it, we're encompassing your solution. So so kind of like whatever design you think of, we can cater for you, right? Exactly.
That kind of thing. But that case is so good. It's got motorized parts where it just flips over. And Nelly was mentioning about that piece of glass. It's a long piece of glass, but they bend it. I didn't know you can bend glass. Can you bend glass?
Yes.
They can.
Yeah.
Oh, they can. Anyone can. Okay.
Yeah. So I can definitely tell you a little bit more of that. So that piece of glass itself is 110 centimeters and it's about 6 millimeters thick.
6 millimeters thick.
Wow. Yes. And then so we take that long piece of glass, we feed it through the
roller.
The heating tool, and then we have to slowly bend it into the the 180 degree turn, which is what makes up the
almost like when you do water cooling, you do those bends. You do 180 degrees.
Yeah.
So this is almost like the ancient art of glass making, right? You literally have to heat the thing up to a certain point where the glass, the silica, it gets to a certain point where it's pliable again. It's not like it's not like Samsung.
Nope.
It's not like this, right?
Nope.
Because I mean, it's not the same. It's literally solidified in that form.
Yes.
And it in this case, I believe it also has to suspend its own weight.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's a several hour long process just to bend into shape, and another several hour long process just to let it cool down.
Let it cool down. Yeah.
Because if we accelerate the cooling, there's a high chance of it shattering.
That's
don't
true.
want that.
True.
And there's a lot of things that these signature cases that you build, just as an old school, follower of signature cases from InWin. You learn a lot of things.
Yes.
You learn a lot of things and you carry them to other cases, but also other customers as well too, because you build everyone's stuff. So for example, the case that I saw initially, and I saw it built in your factory, pressed 14 folds, was the S-frame.
Yeah.
Right. That particular case is one single sheet of aluminum that they basically stamp into place using these huge presses to build one single case from one sheet of aluminum. You took that afterwards and you actually built other cases using a similar design, but at much more economical cost. And that was some of your mass market cases. I can't remember what it was called, but something frames, other frames.
Yeah, probably.
Right?
They had the H frame. I think they had the Z frame as well.
Yeah.
There's
Z tower.
Z tower. There's all kinds of things.
The big point for each of our signature cases is it's not just a showpiece. It's sort of just to show off our manufacturing and design capabilities. Hey, look what we can do now. Did you actually know that we were the first company to use tempered glass in cases? For the general piece.
I think you mentioned that, wasn't it? The
my case actually has tempered glass on it.
But
I haven't broken
first ones to the market.
I've kicked that thing so many times I've expected it to shatter. It hasn't.
6 millimeters, because most of the tempered glass cases.
For this Infinite, it's not tempered glass. Because Infinite glass would be from what they told me, it's a little bit too hard to work with.
Right. So the bend you can't do. So So that's a proper piece of glass.
Just a proper piece of glass.
Tempered glass tends to shatter when you hit it at a certain point. It's the same with automotive glass. Automotive glass is tempered glass.
Okay.
So if you hit it at a certain point, like the glass breakers, have a
to
pin.
escape, right?
So, ding, whole thing just
That's
shatters.
the same thing on the bus,
Yeah.
right? The emergency. Okay.
Yeah.
But 6 millimeters, because most manufacturers out there, they have tempered glass at 3 millimeters, 4 millimeters. I think the highest I've seen is 5 millimeters. But with this new Infinite concept signature case, it's 6 millimeters glass, not tempered glass, bended and twisted and stuff.
Yeah, so imagine if you were, and for the audience at home, and you may not be a PC enthusiast, but imagine if your case was like a motorcycle helmet, and that motorcycle helmet, the visor was actually made of glass, and it would close on itself as a computer case and open on itself.
Yeah.
It's really kind of novel in the way that that's all set up. It's not practical per se, but it's a company that wants to just kind of go racing and figure out what can be done and what cannot be done. So that beige box, that black box, that Dell box underneath your desk, this is infinitely more cool.
Yeah. I also saw a power supply. I know power supplies are boring, but this is the first I've seen it. 2,500 watts power supply.
Okay, so let's just bring it back to the audience at home here with regular PCs. Most regular PCs, like a standard Dell gaming PC, that Inspiron, whatever, it usually has a 450 to 650 watt PSU inside. It's super small. You might have one GPU for gaming inside, like an NVIDIA or a Radeon card, and then it has just a regular Core i5, Core i7 processor. More than adequate to run something like that. 2.5 kilowatts is what they're marketing this, right? And this is like I have a system at home that only has a 1,000 watt power supply.
Yeah.
And that's pretty good, but this is like crazy.
It's one and a half times more power than you have.
Yeah. And why do we need that, Winston? Why do we need that, Justin?
Yeah, why do we need that? It's to do with the server stuff, right? Or workstations.
Yeah. All I know is that all these GPUs, they're power hungry as hell.
And so if you have a workstation with 4 Radeon workstation cards or 4 of the GeForce cards, each of them pulling, say, 300 watts each, that's 1,200 watts already. On top of that, then you need to power your system, etc., etc. So you need a lot of power.
But if you're just going for something simple and you don't know what power you need, you probably don't need that much.
Yeah. I think 850 to 1,000 is decent enough.
That's a general good point. Leaves you room to upgrade too, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. That's true. But still, that's a lot of power. I mean, that basically is enough power based on what we stated there about the general standard system with 650 watts. That's basically enough to power 4 systems. Almost.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Right, you mentioned earlier that you were a gamer. So,
yes.
Okay, this is the interesting part. Is that why you got into your previous company, Zotac? Was it because of the gaming aspect of things?
Yeah, like I was reached out by someone in the industry, and then they asked if I would be interested in helping with this portion. Because actually, my first build ever was in college, and I actually
you built your own, right?
Yeah, I built my own back in college.
How did you learn about that? Was this something that you watched on YouTube, or is it something you kind of like hooked up with friends? Hey, let's build up something.
Yeah, I started watching a lot of YouTube and reading a lot of Redditors about why are guys buying pre-builds, and the whole PC Master Race background, like PC is so much better versus console, like the auto payload. I mean, I really bought into it back then. But now I'm like, just play whatever makes you happy, right?
Right.
So that was when I started like, wow, you can actually do so much. And then I started really looking into like what I wanted to build and stuff like that. Yeah.
So who influenced you out there? Are there any specific personalities, creators, or YouTubers out there that really brought it all together for you?
I think the first people I really watched was Linus from Linus Media Tech Tips, and
my neighbor. Yes.
Okay.
And
he's a couple of gamers.
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Yeah, Jay-Z. They were like probably I watched Linus a little bit.
That's right, because you were based out in the US. You said, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
I think those were definitely the more popular ones. Like nowadays, Gamers Nexus actually just visited us at our factory last Friday. So,
last Friday. Oh, he was there. Okay.
Yeah, and then I started watching more of his stuff recently. Although since I currently have mine built, I have a build in Taiwan because my parents are here, so I just let them use it when I'm not here. But,
don't press that button. Don't press that button.
They know the on and off button. That's pretty much all they need.
Yeah. Okay. So systems aside, What other kind of interests and hobbies? You mentioned something else that you like.
Well,
You're a gamer, so
Yes.
there's got to be another hobby related to staying up.
yeah, coffee,
Yes.
board games, both.
Tell me about your coffee habit.
Coffee. I do enjoy it. I'm not like, oh, I need this to like measure out this many milliliters of water and I need to like heat it up to a certain temperature for how many seconds. I usually tend to make cold brews. Like I measure out like 35 grams of beans, like enough water to cover it, and then like let it sit overnight. Then my coffee's good for the week.
At least you know how to do a cold brew. I have no clue. But last time we were with some guy, our guest from Asus.
WSJ from Asus.
WSJ, Wall Street Journal,
Wall Street Journal.
He had a great time talking about his coffees and stuff like that. I'm no expert, but I just use I'll just drink my cappuccino and latte. That's it. But
That's not coffee, by the way.
I know, but for me it is. That's all I know, right? But you know probably more than most other people out there. Cold brews. You gotta do it a certain way, yes.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm in the US and I don't have time to I say I don't have time, just more like I'm lazy and I don't want to do it, and then I just want 1 cup, I'll probably use an Aeropress instead.
Yeah. What is that? Tell me. I don't know what it is.
I use an Aeropress.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I do.
What is it?
I do actually.
What do you do with it?
I have the original one with the 4. It's
For 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't actually know what they mean. I just pour it to a certain level.
For me,
It's like a little plunger. You put your coffee in with the ground and stuff, and then you put the water in. You stir around based on like what recipe or like ratio you want, and then
Is there a certain time you have to wait for it to brew, or I don't know?
well, when you put the hot water in, it's already brewing, and after a while, you think it's good. You press down like a plunger, and it comes through. Like it goes through the filter, so all the grounds stay in there.
You don't do it like whack. You just have to do it
you
slowly.
slowly press, and then the best part after that is like taking it off and pushing out the coffee puck.
But apparently
that's when you give it a whack.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Aeropress actually has a world championship.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Every year they have a world championship and they pick the best recipes. And this is where the granularity of the grind, the time, the stirring, how many stirs do you want? Whether you rinse the filter or not, do you want to use a steel one? And what type of nozzle do you want? Because they have one that actually has a pressurized valve so it doesn't leak out.
Yeah.
Or you can, brew it upside down. That's another technique as well too. But in essence, usually people work between 15 to 20 grams of coffee, and that saves coffee because you're not creating an entire cold brew jar where you might waste some grounds, or you're creating Chemex where you're actually brewing 35 grams or above to make 6 cups of coffee. You can just make a couple cups of coffee with the one Aeropress.
Yeah.
And then it's just a lot less waste, and it's good for camping as well too if you want really good coffee with you.
Have you thought about getting the Aeropress clear?
I want the giant one.
Oh, that's good too.
Yeah, and I want that one in clear. But they just released a new one that's a Go, that's bigger. More on that later.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
So you're a youngster, and what kind of stuff do you watch or do that influence you a lot? Because I mean, you're very knowledgeable in your coffees, because a lot of youngsters probably don't know much about coffee. And again, you're into the gaming scene and everything like that. So how do you consume content? Is it just mostly internet? Do you like hook up with friends?
I think
Is there a group that you hang out with?
Yeah, we since I'm here and they're in the US, we usually hold a board game night over Discord. Which is
So Discord is something that
voice chat. I mean, back then it was TeamSpeak, but I feel like Discord, it's been it's like very easy to use, which is why I guess it caught on a lot faster than TeamSpeak.
Through Discord, I think a lot of people start using that.
It's a social media network.
It's
a social network.
And then, of course, the content, you watch a lot of stuff from YouTube, and that has that influenced you a lot? Do you continue to get influence?
For sure. Like I said, Reddit. Did I mention Reddit? I also get a lot of content to that, so that links me to different places. And then at night when I'm bored, doom scrolling to Instagram.
Has that urged you to become or want to become a kind of a content creator, stuff like that? Would you want to do that kind of stuff? Because a lot of youngsters these days, you ask the question, what do you want to do when you grow up, right? One of my stepson says, I want to be a YouTuber. But what is it that that want them to do it? Is it because of this thing?
Maybe it's the popularity or the fame, but because I was always a bit of a like more introverted sort of guy, so like I probably shouldn't have been doing this, but like looking at my phone or reading a book in the corner. I've gotten a bit better about it now. Like I can talk to people on podcasts.
That's true. I mean, that's true. You got to start somewhere, and it's good to express how you feel and what drives you, what's your like any interest and dreams that you have going forward. So InWin, how do you find that company so far?
So InWin's been sort of on my radar ever since my first build. Actually,
it's been on your radar ever since your first build. So
I used one of the cases for.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
At a 305.
I know that case. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And because there's so many case manufacturers out there with so many different designs, like say, InWin caught your eye. What is it about that? What kind of special feature that you thought, well, hey, this is it?
I can't quite like place my finger on it, but definitely when I first saw it, like the case was like this whole aesthetic. Everyone had their own version of their tempered glass, but I didn't know that InWin did the first one. But like I was looking at, I can work with. I can do something with that.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's nice that you mentioned the word aesthetic. It's been a word that's been going around, especially with a certain competitor of yours, and it's encompassing of a feeling.
Yeah.
Right, a vibe, right, and you just vibe. That's 305.
That's right.
That's what matters.
Is it because like you just see something and this is it? You know, it's like I won't say impulse shopping, but like sometimes, you if you decide too much, you think about it too much, it's gone, right? And I've had many experiences like that. I see something, the price is right, you should go get it, because if it isn't, it'll be gone.
Yeah.
So that case design is almost timeless. I actually have an original 3 without the 5.
Oh.
Right. This is the silver one that still has a spot for an optical drive in it. Like a thin one, and it has SATA cable connections for the front panel. I should email you guys, see if you can get me an upgrade for that, because I can just modernize that one.
Actually, my current build in the States is an A5, because I also really like that whole smaller aesthetic now. Like not a full tower, and it just sits on my desk really nicely.
This guy's got 2 builds, one in Taiwan and one in the US.
I do enjoy a lot of the older cases, especially the ones where you can actually incorporate in the mini ITX with a half-light card, because I have have a case that looks like a bunch of fins, but it has an option for either a full aluminum panel on the top of it with an InWin logo on it, or you can just have an open a tempered piece of glass. So you can have the 2 options, right? But then it shows off your build. Way back when you wanted the high cables in a mini ITX build, it was nearly impossible. So of course you want to hide it, right? But it's good that they're still pushing that aesthetic, that feeling, because that case gives me chills when I look at it. I haven't built anything in it in a while, but it literally it looks like blades. Like I can't remember what's called though. It's just all blades. Literally the bladed case.
Is it the D? Not the D frame.
Yeah, the D frame was the tube one. This is it's a mini ITX case. It's got fins. Like if you were to basically take a bunch of aluminum panels and just kind of stack them with
something bot. It's called something bot, isn't it?
No.
It's small. It's small, you can vertically stand it up. Is that right?
You can vertically stand it up.
H frame mini? Maybe that sounds.
H-frame mini. It could be the.
We'll find out later. But it's one of those aesthetics that basically you look at it, it's like, how is that even possible? Like, and it's like literally the case is stacked with standoffs, and it's like it's all built up like fins all the way through. Dust is an issue.
The name just escapes.
It's just escaping, right? But maybe we'll show it off too one day there. But InWin is one of those places where you go and you look at these cases. It's like this is a lot of imagination. And one of the people that's behind that is actually a fella that I don't know if you had a chance to meet him, but Erwin.
Yeah. He's in the Taiwan design office.
Yeah. How do you find him?
He's pretty cool. I haven't talked with him much, but like his whole his hair and stuff.
He's really
creative.
Yeah. I know some of our fans have been asking for his design to make a return back for the signature frames.
Yeah, funny thing about him is that when I had a chance to go to the factory and I asked him some questions, one of the things that he told me was that, you know what, I didn't actually want to be in case design. I was actually designing consumer products like rice cookers and other things. That's where he came from. So there seems to be a lot of people inside InWin that design or come from industries that have nothing to do with case or PC or anything. One of them being Nelly. Who we talked to last year, being one of the the mother hand of all global marketing for InWin. She is a really great team builder, but her passions when she came to work the first day was like, why am I here? Why am I not in fashion? I want to be in fashion, but I'll give this a go.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Turns out that she found her calling because now she has a great team that includes Erwin, a whole bunch of new designers, and of course the next generation that are putting out what they feel is the right choices for cases and giving that feedback. You know, because you're very important.
Oh yeah. While you're there, learn as much as you can.
Yeah,
and
that's the plan.
That's it with the team and everything. Nelly is a very good team lead, like you said. But also you report to work for the States.
Andy.
Yeah. Stephen knows Andy quite well.
Andy.
And what is he like to work with? And how is he? Is he like an Uncle Andy kind of thing?
Yes, exactly.
He is Uncle Andy. Yeah. I can't imagine.
Does he take you out for food?
I mean, we love food, so we're gonna go out. And in our area, City of Industry, we're close to Rolling Heights, right? It's like right next door. There's so much good Asian food there, so easy to go out.
Right.
Although I am quite partial to Mexican food, so we sometimes I want to drive out a little bit farther towards Hacienda or something. But maybe my range is pretty limited for like lunch break, so I can't go all the way downtown for like some great tacos.
So you have family in Taiwan, but also what kind of immediate family do you have in the US?
I have some cousins, but the immediate family probably just me.
Right.
Just by myself.
So that's where Andy, you're looking as an uncle. He'll take care of you. Yeah. So exhibition-wise, this is your first Computex?
Yes.
How do you find it?
It's great. There's like a great, especially since we're redoing the signature case show off this year, is like a whole big thing. From what I told, last year's booth probably wasn't as spaceshipy as
it wasn't as big.
It wasn't as big. This year's bigger.
It's a lot bigger.
This is a whole our whole spaceship thing, and actually our sort of media kit is I had some part with that. We designed it to make like a boarding ticket.
Oh, nice. Interesting design.
I actually have it here.
And this is where their designs are so innovative,
And then this side, different sides. This is more the ticket side.
They got a QR code and everything.
And
they're not playing favorites to EVA or China Airlines. It's
it won't work.
Yeah, just come aboard the Infinite.
That's interesting because most traditional other companies, they're just boring leaflet or maybe they'll stick on a USB stick and all stuff like that. But design like this, it's simple.
This is originally because I was part of the marketing part. They were asking about what we thought about our invitations for media this year, and then there's since we're doing space, they were originally going to put everything on a ticket and then a letter. I was like, why not just make a ticket and letter separate? So it's not all crammed into one thing.
Yeah, cramp ticket,
they wanted to put all the words hey, welcome to InWin's booth because these are all
too many words.
Too much.
Exactly. Too many words. You want to
thank you for coming, blah, 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 blah.
Minimal aesthetic, minimal.
Right.
It's more fun.
It is more fun.
It is.
Actually, with the space thing, Nelly asked Andy to get some of those space Oreos that were available for a limited time. So we had some in our booth. just for
buy them all and put them on the plane. Thank you.
I like it. So the destination. You got the
airport names.
You got TPE, which is the Taipei airport, and the destination is space.
SPC.
But
there's no airport for space.
There's no. Not yet. There's a.
You might ask it.
There's a moon time zone. There's a moon time zone.
A moon time
That's
zone?
coming.
Oh, it's coming.
Time on the moon. Moon standard time.
Moon standard.
Okay, that's okay.
Not to be confused with Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah, they'll have to do something. Lunar standard LST. Lunar standard time. Yeah.
Okay. So culture-wise, Taiwan and US.
Yeah.
You said you were originally born.
I was born in the U.S., but my parents are from Taiwan, and After like around I was 5 or 6, we moved back to Taiwan for a bit. And then high school, all the way until high school, I was actually in Taiwan, and then I went to Texas for high school.
Texas.
To finish up like
That's
11,
completely
10,
different
11.
to California, right?
Why did my accent all of a sudden come out?
Texas.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Okay.
That is actually a bit of a longer story because my friend's mom had a college friend who lives in Texas, and they were reaching out for like saying, "Hey, does anyone want to do like a homestay sort of program with us?" So I went my friend over there.
Right.
Like, after some deliberation, like should I go or not?
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Big decision.
Steak, ribs, Texas.
But the culture is different from versus like Texas versus California. The two different.
Oh, they're opposing sides
Oh yeah.
Right.
of each other.
All blue, all red.
Oh, okay.
My
So
goodness.
now you're based in Taiwan right now.
I go back and forth, mostly in the U.S. though.
Well, almost the US, and you work with Andy. I can understand it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and the US. Is it like? Do you find the market for kind of these design cases from you? Are they very different from other brands? Do you think? What makes InWin thrive in the US? Do you think if there's a case that they're going to produce?
I think this is me speaking personally again.
Yeah.
In the past, it was definitely more of we were doing like the forefront of stuff, like I said, the tempered glass and stuff like that, and that's like how it sort of appealed to me in the first place.
Yeah.
Now, like at the gaming market, pretty dang saturated. There's just everyone has their own take on this and that, so it's really even now it's sort of hard to come up. I like feel like our designers are having a hard time coming up with something completely new just for the consumer market. So, which is
because you know that apart from gaming, but the streamers, the content creators, they're all coming up with new creative ideas, and of course TikTok stream and Instagram and things like that, Reels. But even with the streamers, they love to have their camera focusing on their PC in the background, right? And they want everyone to see their creative PC because that's something. I mean, a lot of female creators, and streamers, they do that, right? And with lots of RGB and colors and that.
That's all about the internal parts, though. I feel like because like there's only so much you can do with the case, and after the case, who's gonna want to take the time to keep like swapping all your stuff from the inside unless even with Asus's and like all the new like cableless GPU cards, it's still a bit of a hassle to swap cases.
Yeah, they do
right?
the reverse connectors on the motherboards.
PDF I think is Asus and Project Zero is MSI.
Project Zero MSI,
and they're two different standards.
Are they two different standards?
They're completely different. You need different holes.
Oh, that'd be a pain, a nightmare.
That's kind of the challenge with the case industry.
And then there's only so many people who are going to be buying those. So if we buy our cases will start supporting like BTF and stuff like that, but there's only so many times you're going to be wanting to like swap it out.
Yeah, that's true. So with that being said, then you need the backplates are different, and you need to either buy the case with that backplate design, or can you swap that backplate?
Most likely not, because ours is like the one piece, right? Yeah, that's going to be very.
Where you cut all the holes for everyone.
Well, I guess our Mod 3 series could do that because it's modular components.
You could change
modular.
You stick them together, and then you can just like chain everything.
And this is where InWin is already 2 years ahead because they're making modular cases. Modular cases where you can just literally swap out the backboard, swap out the power supply area, that kind of stuff.
And then you can actually add like more and more to make the case as big as you want.
There you
go.
Last year,
2 years ago, they had that.
Did you see the giant cube? A couple that I did.
Yeah. The ones that just fold up. Fold up. Yeah.
Actually, at our HQ, they were playing around with the Mod 3 stuff, and they made sort of like what looks like a anti-air like SAM turret. I have a picture on my phone, but I don't know if I should put it.
Wow.
It's amazing because you wouldn't expect a youngster like you get so much enjoyment out of a case because
it's like Legos. Who doesn't love Legos, right?
That's it. I mean, it's not just a case. It's like I said, like the aesthetic, right? That feeling that Stephen said, like that's just an emotional connection. you see something that, hey, this is exactly what I want. This is matches my thing. So, and it's good to see. And I think Rob, from a certain competitor, he understands that.
Yeah. So as someone in this demographic, really into DIY, seeing a world where fruit-like products rule the roost, and they're not quite DIY friendly. Do you think there is a future for PC DIY, or do you think it's going to change in a specific way to accommodate? Or do you think it's just going to at some point just die out altogether?
I don't think it'll ever die out completely. There's always every market, there's this hyper focus, whether it be coffee, PC building, even bread baking. There's the people who are really into making something. Or bake, I guess baking in general, because there are people who are really into the hyper realistic stuff, and then the other one who's just I would just want good bread. So I think there's always going to be a market. So InWin's future for the PC market, it's always going to be there. It's part of our history. It will, I don't think it'll ever go away.
But they can also make a lot of the revenue and profit from OEM.
Yes, and, that is the big money maker now.
Because the retail part is only a small part of their business, right? Okay.
Sort of how NVIDIA is moving on from gaming graphics cards, right?
Yeah.
It's all about the AI.
Yeah.
Computing cards.
Yeah. He hasn't mentioned it. I think he might have mentioned it. I think he's releasing AI kind of driven GPUs now for retail.
Yeah. For retail.
Yeah, they got the at the Gigabyte was showing the
47 Ti
AI top.
Top. Well, I know that they're releasing the small form factor GPUs.
We saw that.
That's another case. Yeah. So you won't have to worry about I can't fit this in the case anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's one thing that people complain about.
Heat sinks were getting crazy.
They're super big. They were literally cars were as big as this.
Yeah.
How are you gonna fit that in a case, right?
Yeah.
But now they're small form factor. The size this length actually. This is the length.
Reining it back in.
But
yes, because PC when we listen to some of the stuff here, it's good, better, best. You could buy a system for $7,000, $15,000, or $35,000 for your different AI needs, and segmenting them out that way. It's still inaccessible to the regular desktop user, because the regular desktop user wants to spend $1,000 to $2,000, maybe more like $1,000 if they can get away with it, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to get a great GPU, but you're at least going to get started. But then now you're asking them to basically triple the price of their system all on GPU.
Yeah.
Or
in our case, for signature, it's the same for that too.
Oh yeah, I forgot to ask the price. How much is that?
We don't have a.
It's
priceless.
It's priceless.
It's priceless.
I don't want to say the price is infinite.
How many of these did you make? Because normally they have a limited number.
We don't have a limited. Our GM is still designing on the exact number, but if I had to guess, probably at most 50.
50.
Yeah.
50.
At most.
I have number 12 of the S-frame.
Out of 50. Is that kind of 50 is the...
No, I don't know how many they made, but I have number 12.
Oh, you have number 12.
Yeah.
But do they mark that in the signature cases?
Yes, always. And then for the ones that are being displayed right now, they don't have a number. They just have the word proto on it.
Yeah.
So, because it's a prototype?
Yes, because there's some final kinks that we as we were building, and it's we should probably do that.
And there are people that buy this?
Yeah. There are some people who buy every case, which is I find crazy.
Which is great for you.
Like collectors.
Great for you.
I mean,
how are you gonna fit that aluminium monster? That is it Z Tower?
Oh, Z Tower.
That's that way.
That comes in half a crate.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think the recent cases have all been coming in crates.
Yeah. My S-frame didn't come in the crate, but maybe it should have, because it was huge. It was humongous.
They're all heavy.
They're all really, really heavy.
That's
maybe we
crazy.
should try to make some sort of super light case next year and just take it home from Computex.
I know. So because Computex is a show about AI, and because of all the people, your demographic is going to be most affected by it. Where do you see AI taking you? How useful do you think it's going to be? And in what parts of your life do you think it's going to be most affecting you?
I mean, just straight off the top of my head, just like all those things we see in movies, and like, hey, Jarvis, or hey, Butler, or whatever you want to call your AI, just like, hey, what's the name of this? What's like, hey, can you schedule this for me? It'll probably be so much easier, not like current voice assistants where like they like take a second to think and then they beep 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 and then like, oh, the weather is currently 32 degrees and then raining.
So, well, I would say something to Alexa because Alexa is dumb anyway.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
yeah,
it's not as dumb as
so
Siri.
it would just be more like
Siri's dumb.
You remember that like I guess people were calling Scarlett Johansson like AI voice. That was like ChatGPT 4. I think that got a little bit creepy, but I was like, I could see that being like very useful. Like just like tell me what to do.
It's almost like companionship kind of AI.
Yes, for lonely otaku.
Oh no.
Well, they have companionship robots already in Japan, so
that's even worse.
Yeah,
that's physically worse.
Depends on which type of companionship. But it helps the elderly and the disabled.
Oh yeah,
that kind of. But and also I think they have little. Not full-on robots,
like that whole you know the game Detroit Stay Human, I think.
It's a television series, Detroit. Is it?
No, it's a video game. It's from PlayStation.
I can't remember. I don't play a lot of PlayStation games.
Yeah, but the robots in there were basically like they're like basically all assistants. So they're like smart as heck too.
Yeah.
From what I remember, it's like 3 different stories from 3 different bots. But
well, would you think if they have integrated AI into robots? Because those robots from Boston Dynamics, you seen them that jump around?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they can lift like 300 kilos no problem, and half of them are being used in military apparently. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So imagine having a AI in those. How would you feel about that?
Well,
it's a bit creepy.
Maybe in the future, hopefully wars will be fought just between bots, and humans will just be like, "Hey, we gotta do this," and then no one gets hurt.
Like a drone, like, you know.
Yeah, that's not gonna be fun. But hopefully,
like in Atlas.
Atlas is that new film, right?
With Jennifer Lopez and Simu Liu.
Oh, that's right. And there's an AI in there, some bot.
And she hates AI because it was actually. Never mind. I'm not gonna say anything.
No spoilers.
Spoilers.
I have not watched it.
No spoilers.
Okay, you should watch that. It's fun. I think technology is so fascinating because it changes so fast. I don't go into technical terms too much because a lot of users out there probably don't know what I'm talking about, right? But youngsters like you're the generation that a lot of I won't say Gen Zers, but I'm saying you're the one that's going to be coming up from the next generation, and it's good to have an insight of what you think the future is going to be. Whereas me and Stephen are old school. We're like from the 80s, so we have an idea of what the future looks like, like Puerto Rico, that kind of stuff. But you have a different concept of what the future is going to be, and it's fascinating to understand and try to understand what you talk about. So
I definitely people because of my whole like face and like jump vibe, I actually get
you get ID.
Yeah, I definitely get ID, but I'm actually older than most people would think. I'm actually closer to 30 than most people.
Closer to 30, still in 20s.
Yeah, it's just like late 30s.
Dude, you just dissed the guy. You call him a youngster the whole time.
Yeah,
he's not a kid.
I'm 27.
That's it's still 20s.
He's not a kid.
Yeah.
Uncle Winston called everybody's kids.
I was in Vegas for CS, and I just had my ID in my pocket the whole time. Otherwise, like people, like all the dealers were just like sort of looking at me funny. It's like, this guy allowed to be here.
Are you old enough?
Yeah.
Why are you playing 18-rated games?
Yeah, even on the first day when we were setting up, we were renting helmets because like they were doing construction and you had to have a helmet. The lady at the booth was like, "Oh, are you here for a summer internship?" I'm like, "No."
Oh, this. Wow. And even in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Oh, Oh, that's like
I look
ageism from people that don't raise him.
Yeah,
He's got good genes. By the time he's 50, he'd be like looking 30.
that's the dream.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's not AI, by the way.
No,
Right?
no.
No
As
AI.
long as you don't turn back into a baby, you're fine. Like Benjamin Button.
Oh, yeah, that's right. A fascinating story.
I think just like high school, it just sort of just stopped.
It just Asians don't raise them. All right. Well, thank you so much for chatting
Thank
with
you
us
so much
and
for having
giving
me.
us the perspective from someone that is not a youngster. Winston, Uncle Winston, you need to
20s?
stop doing that.
I don't know, 20s, early 20s. Okay.
From a different demographic to find out their needs and wants and preferences, and whether or not, most importantly, their views on AI, whether it's good or bad, and also because you're from the PCDIY industry, we've been hearing about the doom and gloom and the crash of that industry. I guess it's not going to happen. It just evolves.
Sure, someone will be able to find that next big thing, just not quite there yet. Hopefully it's with us again, because we've got our team of people just like brainstorming every day.
All right. Well,
Thank you.
Thank you.
And make sure you tune in for our podcast show each and every Wednesday.
yeah, and don't forget to check out InWin's website. Is it InWin.com now, or is it InWin-something?
A1.com.
InWin.com. Check out some of the dreamy cases that they have, and also be prepared to break out your pocketbooks and your big credit cards with the reserve spending limit, because these things, some of them are not cheap, but the 305, very affordable.
Yeah.
Until next time.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.